Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome again to this our YouTube channel. Me personally, I'm fine. The weather here is also fantastic. Now, before we proceed on with our topic of today, I would just like to take this golden opportunity to request you to press that subscribe button below so that anytime we produce a video like this, the YouTube platform will automatically notify you. You can as well like, share, or drop your comment on the comment section below. Now, yesterday, the 10th Devolution Conference began there in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County. And U.S. Ambassador Meg Whitman was invited. But during that time, when she was delivering her speech, she said that Kenya is the father of democracy in Africa. And Kenyan last elections were the freest, most credible, and most transparent elections ever seen before. And this brings us to the question which most of Kenyans have been asking themselves. Who actually elected William Samoei Ruto? Is it the external forces or is it the America and the Britain? And that's our speech.
Particularly interesting, and ones that I share often with American businesses. Why Africa is the first question American businesses have. By 2015, 1 in 4 humans, a quarter of the world's population, will live on the African continent. And 1/3 of the working age people will live on the African continent. It's the youngest population on the world. 60% of the population is under 25. And in my view, Africa is the last and largest emerging market and offers the last big supply chain and consumer prospects, much like the opportunities we saw in Southeast Asia 20 years ago. Now that's how I'm talking about Africa to U.S. businesses. Let's zoom in on how I'm talking about why Kenya should be everyone's destination in Africa. Kenya is the most stable democracy in Africa. Kenya is the gateway to the East African market of almost 500 million consumers. Kenya is the regional logistics hub. Kenya is the leading regional financial hub. And Kenya, with its Silicon Savannah and super smart engineers, is the region's ICT hub. Kenya is a leading destination for foreign direct investment and venture capital. And Kenya has a young, educated, entrepreneurial, and English-speaking workforce. Kenya generates, as I said, over 93% of its energy from renewable sources, and Kenya's largest export market is the United States. Let me repeat, Kenya's largest export is the United States, and we feel Kenya is ready for liftoff as it diversifies. Let me unpack a couple of these areas. Democracy. I arrived in Kenya days before the August 22 general elections. What I witnessed was nothing short of remarkable. Kenya held what many analysts and commentators say was the freest, fairest, and most credible election in Kenyan history. The elections were observed by international and local election organizations, and the results were upheld by the Kenyan Supreme Court. And power was transferred orderly and peacefully at the time. Now, gateway to East Africa. As I said, Kenya is the gateway to East Africa. 80% of East African regional trade passes through Kenya's Mombasa port. In addition, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi is the busiest airport in East Africa, served by 40 passenger airlines and 25 cargo carriers, including FedEx and DHL. Kenya also has some excellent infrastructure, such as the Standard Gauge Railway, a series of new roads, and modern ports. From a financial and technology hub perspective, Kenya is already the regional financial hub for East Africa. Several international banks have been present in Nairobi for decades, and five major global financial institutions like the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund have established their regional headquarters in Nairobi. The region's regional stock market sits in Nairobi, and the city hosts the necessary legal, accounting, and consultancy services to preserve and accelerate this. There we go. Okay, great. Thank you. Nairobi also has a very vibrant technology community known as Silicon Savannah, and the Kenyan government is committed to establishing Kenya as the premier.
Now, after watching that video, it came to my realization that it was not the Kenyans who elected William Samoei Ruto, but it was the Americans who elected William Samoei Ruto to satisfy their selfish needs. Now, when invited in the same occasion today, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga was welcomed as a king. And during his speech, he lectured Meg Whitman, the American ambassador, telling her that Kenya is not America's colony and she should keep off from Kenyan affairs. And this is the brevity of the leaders that we need in this Republic of Kenya. You can watch Raila Odinga speaking now.
What is wrong is police brutality. And finally, you want to tell a rogue ambassador, leave Kenyans alone. If Mandamano can lead to a dialogue between Ichungwa and Kalonzo, everything is good with Mandamano. Tell the rogue ambassador, Kenya is not United States. Kenya is not a colony of the United States. Keep your mouth shut when you're here. Otherwise, you will call for your recall back to your country. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause, please, for the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Raila Odinga. Asante sana.
And there you have it, the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga just concluding his address to the governors, the delegates of the Devolution Conference happening here in.
Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye till we meet again in the next video. But please continue subscribing this channel. Thank you and bye-bye.